Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Fusion Hangout. I, of course, am your host, and I am joined once again by the prolific cover himself, though slightly in a different realm of existence, Zelius.
A different realm of existence?
That's right, my friend.
Are we having one of parallel universes that I'm not aware of?
Perhaps.
Perhaps a time rift continuum issue that's going on.
Indeed, one that you need to solve right now.
I'm afraid I'm going to need more beer to solve that. Oh, it's a good thing I have one in my hand.
There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business, shall we? Okay, first of all, over this past weekend was MomoCon.
Woo,
MomoCon! For those of
MomoCon!
you who unfortunately missed out on another great convention,
What's the good event there, yo?
I kind of wish that I was able to move around, but I was basically at the fan table for 24 of the possible, I don't know.
25.
It's like 30. No, it was like 40-something hours.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the fan table. So if you came and saw me at the fan table,
Which I did not.
oh, you're killing me, Zelius. It hurts my heart.
Sorry,
Anyways, I was working the fan table, showing off the Ouya. Had quite a few people ask me if I made the games that I was showing off, and I, of course, said no, but thank you for asking, and now, while you're here, let me tell you a little bit about Ultimate Fusion. So, hopefully, that move helped us gain some more fans.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I do want to point something out real quick. I said it into something slightly different, but I'm going to say it again now. Ultimate Fusion is going through another transitional stage, ladies and gentlemen. We are only going to report the news that is relevant to us. So if Zelius hears something crazy about Final Fantasy XIV, since it's relevant to him, he's going to say something about it. Any of the civilizations, that's Zelius. I mean, he loves that stuff.
Civilization 5, Cold or Earth or something, I don't know.
I think it's Beyond Earth.
Beyond Earth, yeah.
Anyways, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. As much as I would love to keep the dream of being this multi-conglomerate company, the truth of the matter is our strength lies in reporting independent news and news relevant to us.
Or about Warehouse 13.
I can't watch that because I'm 3 episodes behind. So, shh.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure. I hope you don't watch my video then.
I know. I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, he posted something. I'm like, no, not.
Well, I saw it out the very first sentence. I'm like, this is a review of Warehouse 13. Warning, there will be spoilers. Well, so make it very clear, like in the first sentence.
Well, spoilers. At least you're nice about it.
Yeah. No, I would not have talked about what I did without saying there's spoilers.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to know how it ends, obviously, without watching it.
Obviously. Okay. So let's go. Let's chit chat about a little bit more craziness of Ultimate Fusion. Okay, so the destruction of the game industry as we know it, once again.
By the way, it's been coming to an end for a long time, man. That's all your fault.
I know. No. Okay, so funny story, real quick. One of the journalists that I've really got to know over some time, his name is Bobby Blackwolf. He is a great guy, but he said, "Look, huh? What'd you say, Zelius? Hello?
There's some badass lag going on.
All right, give me 1 sec. Hold on 1 sec. Are we better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. See, that's what I get for trying to install something while I talk.
Well, there you go.
All right. Anyway, so I met with one of the guys I've met with a bunch of times. His name is Bobby Blackwolf. He was like, "I would love to be there for your panel, but god damn, man, you depressed me so much with the type of topic you're taking on. He knows what I'm going to talk about. So he's just but he of course had to play Debbie Downer in front of a crowd of people because whatever. But this time the destruction of the game industry as we know it was co-hosted by a guy named Blaine, who is from 2-Stash, which is another independent video game website. So it's really interesting to have two, I would say, I don't know if I consider myself an indie game expert, but two indie game veterans coming together for an amazing panel. Yes, Blaine had a little bit of an issue with talking directly into the mic, so some of his pieces were a little bit soft, but it was a great panel. And the ironic thing is, we brought up Kickstarter, which of course is something that I have been known to show
Yes.
or talk about. So we talked about Kickstarter. Now the ironic thing is that Blaine ended up at the Kickstarter panel, which was after hours. Okay, and the craziest thing happened. So the Kickstarter panel ends. Some of the people that were in that one were in our panel. And so they nudged their friends going, that's the guy, that's the guy. And so they all rushed to Blaine instead of the panelists.
Interesting.
So everyone's going, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this guy? and of course, I would like to thank Blaine for this. He's like, actually, I can give you a little information, but if you really want to talk to someone who knows some stuff about Kickstarter, you got to talk to the Ultra Fusion guy at his fan table. So
Nice.
And
so
of course,
they talk to you about it. Be like, yo, what's up with this Kickstarter stuff?
no, they didn't actually show up. Or if they did, I was probably talking to someone else about independent games.
Right on.
Or other Kickstarter projects, because I brought up those as well.
Gotcha.
I mean, hell, the Ouya is like the perfect example of a Kickstarter project that could have been so right, but went so wrong.
Oh, yeah, we hardly knew ya.
Yes.
Ooh, that almost rhymes.
It does rhyme.
I didn't even try.
Oh, God.
Apparently, I need to drink more.
Yes, apparently.
Yeah, Ouya is one of those funny things where, okay, I know we talked about Ouya 8,000 times on this podcast, but
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, it was one of the, okay. The initial pre-launch of the Ouya seems like a case study of Kickstarter gone right. This is how you get something on Kickstarter, and not only that, but the actual development of the Ouya itself. You know what I mean? Like, it actually came out, it came to fruition, there was excitement over the release of the Ouya.
Excuse me, Zelius, real quick.
Yep,
this is not an X-rated video.
What?
Over your other shoulder. Over your other shoulder.
Bros are speechless. Pat, kitty. Pat.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Everybody, that's Rose the cat. She wants whatever. Okay. So it seems like everything up to the actual release of the Ouya went pretty well. From like everything I read, people are actually excited about this. Yep. Like, dude, this is something that can actually compete with the other shit. But then it's like almost like everything post actual release of the product. It's like it was the peak. Like that was Ouya peak. Everything just went boom downhill from there.
Yep.
It's almost like a case study of how do you do up to the release well, but then totally go downhill from there, which is unfortunate. Yes. Because I think there is somewhat, I would think it's still somewhat of a niche market, but I would think there's still a market outside of the Xbox and Sony realm that Ouya could have filled, but just a number of things after the actual release just didn't quite maybe been the way they should have been done to really make it the success it could have been. And as always, hindsight is 20/20.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's easy to sit here in our chairs with the crazy cat behind me.
Yep.
Be like, dude, if they'd only done this and this.
Mm-hmm.
But
True.
that's also why I'm not on Kickstarter releasing $1 million projects.
True. And I do want to bring a point up. You don't, if you've got an idea that takes off like Ouya, it's phenomenal. But you have to understand that simply getting funded is like this first freaking step in 1,000 steps. Now you can't rest on your laurels. You can't say the product will speak for itself. The main problem was their PR department shut down after the Kickstarter thing, and an individual who apparently was well entrenched within the company was supposed to be the PR liaison, but never talked to anybody. And so it
I know
was
you
like
tried reaching out to them a number of times.
several times, 6, 7 months. Finally, they get a third-party PR agency, and now, I mean, this dude is like he's busting his balls trying to make any game that comes to the Ouya relevant, and which is awesome for me because that means that I get a lot more information than I ever got from the Ouya. Like the lead developer I'm going to be interviewing tonight, he and his group have created a game called Whispering Willows for the Ouya, and then it'll be coming out on Steam June 17th, I believe is the date. The game's solid. I mean, it is solid. And I would like to think that there is some slight itty bitty crack in that door that they opened left. Now, that being said, Ouya's already announced that they're going to a software platform, which in my mind is about as bad as not having a PR department. The reason why I say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, I want to support the Ouya. I love indie games. I want to support indie games as much as I can. But when you release a software platform that's going to be sitting on top of another platform like Windows or Android or iOS, you have to understand you don't have enough exclusive titles to make it relevant to install that software platform.
Well, and my question is, and to go back to your point about don't rest on your laurels,
yeah,
I know that's a point you've made a million times on the podcast is, to the indie developers, you made that point a number of times about, that's the name of one of your panels. Is basically
so you finish making your indie game, you think you're done.
It's the same concept kind of applies to Ouya. But as far as the software platform goes, I do think there's somewhat of a market for the Ouya or that type of model. Mm-hmm. I don't really know if there's a model for another software platform on especially the PC. What the hell, Marketplace? You already have Steam, which is doing Greenlight. You have Good Old Games. You have
Origin.
I'm not counting Origin because that's like EA exclusive.
Right.
There's a Green Man game or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Greenhouse Games or something like that. You're right.
Yeah, there's one of those. But there's so many.
Oh, Stardock. No, they only do their own stuff too.
Yeah, they're their own. But I mean, basically, Good Old Games and Steam that really take up 98% of the market already.
Right.
And it's kind of like myself, I don't use basically any other service platform because I use Steam for everything. And a real PC gamer, guess what? They're going to be in the same boat. Right. Steam is where it's at. And I just don't see that market for another gaming platform on the PC, really.
Absolutely. I agree full-heartedly. I mean, look at all the independent games that I have played, done playthroughs for, done reviews for. Every single game, except for maybe one, I've been able to get through Steam.
Well, it's obvious that Steam is making a real push for the indie games.
Absolutely.
Every time you go on the Steam front page, they have some highlight of some indie game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a big thing of theirs. So it's kind of like, you had the indie chance for the consoles, but I don't think so on the PC. I just don't see it.
Well, one of the things that a lot of developers have heard, and thankfully it hasn't scared them away, is that that Valve has come out and said they're going to do away with Project Greenlight. Now, of course, that's all that people hear, like, oh my God, but I've got this awesome game. No, no, no. They're going to do away with that because they know it's corrupt, because it's messed up. What they're going to do is they're going
Wait,
to
internet voting can be corrupt?
Yeah. They're going to revise it so that the really strong games actually get the attention they deserve.
Right on.
And for that, that's awesome. I mean, that's fantastic. You know, that's what you want to hear. And to be honest with you, Ouya is making a very interesting push right now. What they're trying to do is they're trying to find those student projects that are above and beyond amazing, or maybe just a small indie project, but they are seriously looking out for these guys and trying to get a little bit of an exclusive contract. Now, the interview I did a while back for a game called Thrall, I believe they've signed an exclusive agreement for 6 or 8 months. Which, you know, in hindsight, you would wish that the exclusive agreement would be for the life of a franchise or an exclusive partnership between two companies. I mean, what Square Enix and Sony had for the longest time. But the reality is that's not going to work in today's world. What you could do is you get a contract structured in such a way that you give your company a head start at releasing this game, so people look to that. If the game's good enough, people will go to that game. And they're hoping that they'll also go to that console. And of course, the entry point for buying a console of that console is about $99 versus the $500 or $400. So it is a much lower bar to go over. Now, that being said, the vast majority of the games on the Ouya are ports from cell phone games and tablet games. It is very rare for something to hit the Ouya first and then go the other way. And if you look at the history of, say, a game like, oh my gosh, I just blanked out on the damn thing. The first big exclusive for the Ouya, it's now on the PC. Like the next iterations on the PC and the PlayStation 4. Towerfall. Towerfall is a horror story for independent developers pushing a game onto the Ouya. They sold a total of under 8,000 units in the entire exclusive contract, which I think was a year long. Within a week and a half of putting Towerfall Ascension on Steam and on PlayStation, the PlayStation Network, they made $1.2 million.
Sounds like what incentive do you actually have to release an exclusive title on the Ouya is what it comes down to.
Right.
Is there an incentive? Probably not.
Right. Well, for these student projects, the incentive is Ouya's footing the bill for the rest of the development to make your project what you dreamed it's going to be. Now, I'm sure you can't have a completely outlandish thing. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the Ouya representatives would be those individuals who actually understand, you know, how much it's going to take, and also can kind of identify the groups who are actually shooting for the stars or are actually making a game that's within the realm of possibility.
Well, the other thing I'd be interested in, too, to see, and granted we'll probably never get these numbers, but it seems like whenever, like, on an internet forum, whenever the topic of the Ouya comes up, it seems like, oh, yeah, I bought an Ouya and I haven't touched it in 6 months. So I'd be kind of interested to see how many people who purchased an Ouya actually still have even used it relatively recently. Or does it just sit there collecting dust as another paperweight? Right. And so is that another issue too? Are people actually even turning on the Ouya to looking at the game in the marketplace in the first place?
This is very true, and I wouldn't have those numbers. I wish I did, but
we would never did those probably. I doubt we would release that kind of information, but it just seems like whenever I'm looking at it and Ouya comes up, it seems like most people's comments are like, "Oh yeah, I checked it out and it sucked," and I don't use it anymore.
You either get that comment, or even the bigger comment is, "The Ouya is actually out."
This is true too. Yes, and it kind of goes back, like, yay, great, they have a PR person now, but if they had that going at release,
Mhm.
it could be a different story now, possibly.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, but they waited too long. Where guess what? The news cycle of the Ouya is already passed.
Yeah.
You know, we're on to the Xbox 720, which obviously it's not called that, and the PS4, and
Mhm.
you know, the GameCube now, official GameCube controller for the Wii U, and now we're on to the next news cycles for the gaming world.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. So, anyways, moving on from the Ouya.
Which I think the final thought I would have on that is,
Yes, sir.
I think it's a good lesson learned for all indie developers,
Mhm.
not just the console, but kind of like your talk that you give about so you think you finished your game.
Mhm.
It's a perfect kind of fable for your game. You have a great product that could have a market, but if you don't do the work that needs to be done after it's released, doesn't matter how great it could be.
Yep.
Moving on, like you said.
Okay. Shoot. What the hell was I going to say?
Was it about MomoCon? Something else?
Momocon. So let's see here. I was asked by another convention to potentially have a fan table and do some panels there. This one is in Nashville. It is August the 1st to the 3rd. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it up there, but it would be cool if I could.
That's the weekend of our family reunion.
Aha! Family reunion.
95 of the closest people I don't know.
Woo! Hot dang. So anyways, it's called a KeyCon. It's up in Nashville. I'd be interested in doing it. I just don't know if I have the finances to do it.
Because I would like to make it down to southern part of the United States for one of these cons. I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah. And then of course we've got AndoCon coming up in June. For those interested, I will be giving 2 panels at the it's a hotel near Perimeter Mall. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. All you gotta do is go to andocon.com.
Ritz Carlton?
No. It's like the W, I think. I don't think there's a Ritz Carlton by Perimeter.
I was just thinking of the nicest hotel I could think of.
Well, there you go. Okay, moving on. Zelius!
Yo!
Surprise me! Final Fantasy 14, right? That's what you've been playing?
I got another game too that I downloaded off of Steam, damn you!
What is it?
It's a game called Tropico 4.
Mm.
I didn't talk about this last week, did I? I can't remember anymore. Okay.
Not.
Oh no, I was talking to another buddy about it. Basically, it's a city builder.
Mm-hmm.
In the vein of Sims. Okay, so I like strategy games, but like something about SimCity, even the SimCity debacle aside, like I could never even get into previous iterations of SimCity. I don't know what it was. It just never clicked for me. But Tropico, I'm enjoying. It's very much a city builder. You know, you start off with a small little village, but like literally everything's under control. You know, you start off basically. It's like the first campaign, for instance. You have a construction house, and it's like 8 people work there. And then you have a Teamsters, which has like 2 people who work there. And then you say, for instance, you build you need food, so you build like a corn farm, for instance, first. And then actually start growing stuff, but you don't actually start getting food until 6 months from now because it's a farm, right? But then you'd build, say, to make money, because you obviously have to make money in the game, right? So now you're going to build, say, a coffee farm.
Okay.
Or in my case, actually, I built tobacco farms. So what you do then, you build a tobacco farm here, and then over here, because you have your industry section, now you're going to build a cigar factory. And then, so going back to the whole Teamster building that you started with.
Are you Cuba?
What?
Are you Cuba?
Actually, Fidel Castro could be one of your leaders, because you have to pick like your leader at the beginning of the game. Like, you're in the Caribbean.
Okay.
So, you're very much a dictator too. It's made very clear that you're the dictator. And so basically, your Teamsters that then bring food from your corn farm to your marketplace that you built, hopefully. And then they're also then bringing your tobacco to the factory. And then they're bringing both tobacco and cigars now to your pier. And every about 6 months or so, you got to have a cargo ship come in and export your food. So that's kind of like basically short of the game. And obviously, you have a lot more industry you can build, and resources and food to manage and stuff too, and you got happiness, and
Mm-hmm.
you have all these different factors to deal with.
Right.
So I've been playing that some. It's a fun game. The only thing that's one thing I've always liked about the Civilization game is there's a really good Civilopedia. Like, okay, you know exactly why this is happening, what's going on.
Right.
Sometimes, like, stuff that's going on in Tropico, I don't know what the hell, why it's not working. For instance, I have a cement factory, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't need any raw resources for the cement. But I keep getting this warning signal where, like, my cement factory isn't producing any cement. I have workers there, and I know I've produced cement in the past because, like, it tells you, like, this year versus lifelong.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it gives you, like, a warning, like, this is not producing because you either don't have workers or no raw resource.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's no actual more information than that to tell you about the potentially raw resources for a cement factory.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes kind of figuring out some of, like, the details like that can be really frustrating sometimes to figure out, okay, why is this not working? I don't have a damn clue why it's not working.
Right.
The other thing that's kind of annoying is, so you have a campaign. I know there's like 20 phases to the campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in the first phase, which I probably played like 5 hours worth of the first phase.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's not like an end goal. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to actually be doing anything to beat the first phase of this campaign. Like, there's no like end target. Like, when I play Civ Rome, for instance, Civ Rome is a city builder, pretty dang similar to Tropico, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously set in 100 BC of Rome, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it was made very clear, like, first part of the campaign, you have to get, 500 people.
Right.
Step 2, you have to build this type of industry. It's very clear what you have to do in each part of the campaign. Tropico, I don't have any damn clue what my actual goal is.
Right.
I'm just building stuff. I'm like, whatever. But if you like city builders, it's a fun game. Shaun the Dark at Sim City, but totally offline play. You don't have to deal with online shit. You don't have to deal with neighbors. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. This did annoy me. In order to actually play the game, you actually have to log into the server every time. So I actually take that back. You do have to, and this is Tropico 4. There's up to 5 coming out in like June, I think.
Uh-huh.
That's why I got it, because it's on sale, in celebration of Tropico 5 coming out.
Right.
I don't know about the previous ones, but Tropico 4, you actually do have to authenticate to their server to log in every time to the game.
Is it one-time authentication? Can you
every time you play it, you have to authenticate to their server.
No, I meant when you log in, all you gotta do is authenticate, and then you could lose your internet connection, or if you
I have not tested that out. That's a good question. But it's totally single player.
Okay.
Like, once you play, so you don't have to worry about your neighbors. So it doesn't have that going for it. I take that back.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of annoying, because first time I tried playing, I'm like, well, what the hell? I have to create an account to play the game. I just downloaded on Steam, which I already have an account for. Really? So that's kind of silly.
Right.
So play the game. So far, no game-breaking bugs, which is why I actually stopped playing Civ Rome. This is granted 3 years ago. This is a while ago. But there were some game-breaking bugs that just pissed me off, so I'm like, okay, I'm done playing.
Mm-hmm.
So far, Tropico is going well. But this is like, I think that developers' basically bread and butter is Tropico.
Mm-hmm.
So they make sure it works well.
Right.
I actually downloaded the Collector's Pack, which has like 10 DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, again, and this is also through Steam, though, I have a damn clue what each of the DLCs actually do. I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll get the Collector's Pack, and I don't know what they actually did for the game.
Right. There you
but
go.
overall, if you like those type of games, it's a good game. I mean, it's on Tropico 3 is on sale for like $2.50, and Tropico 4 is like $10.
Mm-hmm.
So give it a whirl.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Zelius first, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a whirl. Now, let's see. What have I been playing? I have been playing the game The Last Door, which is a collection of 4 episodes of craziness that is basically a love letter to H.P. Lovecraft. It is pretty dark. It's interesting. I have not played an 8-bit game in a long time, and this is, it's actually really good.
Oh, go 8-bit game. Let's go back to the days of Nintendo. Woo!
So I'm playing that game. Of course, I'm playing Whispering Willows for the Ouya, because it's not out for the PC yet. So I'll be giving my review for the game on the Ouya.
Right on.
Yeah. So
So, question for you.
Sir.
The pre-order time for the WildStar is shortly upon us.
Yes.
You're going to be purchasing WildStar based on your open beta experience.
Negative, Ghost Rider. I will
No.
not be getting into WildStar for the simple fact that I don't have $60 to my name right now.
So does a game like when it inevitably goes, on sale or free to play that you can see yourself getting into then?
If it goes free to play and I can honestly remember enjoying the game a lot, then I will jump on. If I'm like, oh yeah, I play WildStar once upon a time, then of course
So
I'm
it's
not
not something like your heartstrings are tugging at to get back into.
Right.
Right on. What about Guild Wars? I haven't heard about that in a while.
I have unfortunately put Guild Wars 2 aside because I'm playing Smite on a nightly basis.
So like your Smite is my Final Fantasy 14.
Basically, yes. But I'm pretty sure that I play a shorter amount of time every night than you do.
Yeah, very possible.
I only play anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and 15.
Gotcha. It just depends for me.
Yeah. Smite released a new god yesterday called Janus, the Master of Portals. And I have to say, I was not all that thrilled about the release, but then I actually played him. He's the type of god that you would only use on certain map types because his ultimate does jack squat for a couple of the different game types. You're just like, oh, yay, I got my ultimate again.
I'm not very thrilled. Yeah.
Well, it's cool because I mean, if you're in like if you're the big game, the 5v5, you got 3 different lanes that you go down.
Yep.
It's called Conquest. That one would be beneficial to use Janus because his ultimate is he shoots out a bunch of portals that you and your allies can go through, and you can literally just go from one side of the map to the other like that.
Interesting.
But the problem is, it's certain. Let's say there's only in Assault there is a lane.
Yep.
There's nothing to use portals on. I mean, to use your ultimate on. Now, there's another portal attack, but you can use that to either put it on the ground and have an enemy walk over it, and then fun ensues. Because they're like walking all sides like, and then all of a sudden it's,
nice.
But yeah, I have to say that I continue to be impressed with the variety and versatility of the gods and goddesses they release. And the fact is, yes, they do screw up some gods every single patch release. One of the gods that I've been playing a lot of, Tyr, I will not be playing him again for a long time because they nerfed the shit out of him. But you know, what are you gonna do? So, anyways, we have reached the 30-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen.
No!
Yes. So, unfortunately, this is where we have to bid all of you viewers adieu. So, with that being said, what I would like to say is I would like to say the following. Thank you for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it has yet again been a pleasure for us to record this for you, for your viewing pleasure, and of course, for the shits and giggles that we get out of it. So, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
And on behalf of Rose, who's enjoying this greatly, remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.